everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Tim at Broken Dice, bringing you turn 4 of my Rome in Iberia campaign. This is turn 4 of the very first battle of their return to Iberia. Broken this up into different sections. This is a pretty good sized fight. Just a little recap. Some combats, nothing major's gone on yet. Some give and take, but the big hallmark of the first 3 turns were failed orders and blunders, which have led to a really odd occurrences in the game where units are out of place and just having to do things that you wouldn't normally want to do. Okay, so we will start with the Roman part of turn 4, orders phase, and we're going to roll some dice. But before we do that, let's just kind of pan back with the camera a little bit so we can get a little bit bigger view of what's going on. Big combat up to the top right of the screen. We have just a minor combat going here in the front, like some legionnaires against some Iberian tribesmen, but it's not... And I don't think it's going to be a make or break for either side, kind of a combat. Then we turn the camera just ever so slightly to look at the far left from the Roman point of view, and we see a cavalry combat that's ongoing. There's some things going on there. The Iberian cavalry are shaken, and so one's a small unit, one's a standard size unit, so we'll have that sort of thing going on. But the Romans have flanked over there. You can kind of see as I move the camera up just a bit. You see that guy, the commander on horseback, with a unit of allied Iberian tribesmen. Not looking good for the Iberian right, not looking good for the Iberian left, and it's inconsequential in the Iberian center. So I guess we can all figure out how this one's going to turn out. At least that's the way the odds would say. But let's roll some dice and let's see what happens. I'm going to pause it here, roll for some orders, and make some moves, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, let's look at some orders phases. The cavalry unit has charged here. They passed their order to charge. Then the commander, even though he was at a -1 to issue an order to this light cavalry unit, he was able to get it off. They moved 2 moves, and so that put them up there in a position flanking the Iberian center. This combat is ongoing, and let's move over and take a look at the center. Sorry about the camera movement. And so what we have here is this unit moving to support. This artillery, the Scorpion, moves over to support. And this unit right here is just going to be held in reserve, and it will be utilized to either charge somewhere or lend support to whatever that big unit of Iberians that are way up there at the top of the screen. And since there's no orders to be given on the Roman right, and because everything's already engaged, we will now go to combat, and I will just go from my left to the right, and we'll save that great big mess of a combat until very last. So let's swing back over. I'll roll some dice for this combat here with the Iberian cavalry and the allied Iberians for the Romans, and see how this all turns out. All right, let's take a look at the combats here on the Roman left flank with their Iberian allies fighting their fellow Iberians. Well, the Romans were only able to do 4 points of damage. And even with, charging in the flank, needing 3s to hit, like, my goodness, I just really thought these guys would just be gone. But the Iberians did 2 points of damage back. But since they're shaken and they lost the combat, I had to, either way, they were going to have to take a test, win, lose, or draw. And I rolled a 12. So that means that sneaky Iberian cavalry unit is still alive, still hanging in there. I don't know. Crazy. So now I need to go to the smaller combat from this flank, which is as I move the camera up just a bit. It's going on right there. The Catrati that are allied to the Romans attacked that direction. Did no damage because they only hit one time, and the other side rolled a 6 for a save. And coming back, the other side hit 3 times and did 2 points of damage. Amazing. Now, this unit for the Romans, needs to take a test, and we'll come right back after I roll that. Okay, seriously, I'm going to check my dice. I rolled a 12 again for their break test. So they're going to hang it. Even though they're shaken, they're going to hang in there. I am definitely going to put these dice on a scale and weigh them, because there's no way I can roll that many 12s in a game. All in all, I think within these first, let's see, I'm not even halfway done with turn 4 yet, and I know I've rolled 3 blunders, which are 12s. I've rolled several leaderships of 12. It's just unreal. I've never rolled like that before in my life. This probably should have been over with at the end of turn 3, but or just mopping up operations after that. But no, I am rolling abnormally high, and if I was playing against a human opponent, I wouldn't be able to do that. I can guarantee you, I would not be able to roll that well. Whichever side I was rolling it for, it wouldn't be that way. So now we're going to move over to the center combat and see what happens there. All right, with this combat in the center, we've resolved the combat. It's not looking good for the Iberians. Okay, you got to remember, this is a division from the Iberian right that had blundered earlier over to this direction and has kind of found itself out of position and in the way, really. And so now, because of that blunder, they've been in this fight with the Legionnaires, and it's just going to turn out horrible for them. The Romans did 7 points of damage. The Iberians were capable of only doing 1 point of damage. The Iberians have lost by 6. They're shaken. So, yeah, we are just going to roll for break here. And if they don't break, it'll be a miracle. Okay, the Iberians all failed, obviously. I mean, you lose by 6 and you're shaken. Not much of an opportunity you're going to get. You need another one of them big 12s that I've been rolling, and that did not happen. So now that Iberian right division has lost that unit of Scutari, a unit of light infantry, and yeah, it's not going well, let's just say. So let's move on over to the far right division for the Romans, and we'll see what that great big combat turns out to be. Okay, before we roll the dice for this, let's go over a few things that's happened on this side. Early on, failed orders, a blunder by the Iberians, which led to them moving further to the edge of the table, which would be to the right, just in front of the cavalry. They've moved this direction, and that shoved the cavalry support that they had for that division off the table. They're still waiting for them to pass an order to come back onto the table. So this combat should be short and sweet, because the one Iberian's Scutari unit in combat is shaken, plus one of the supports is shaken. Of course, then again, it's all in the dice. So let's roll some dice and see what happens. All right, now that we've rolled the dice for the combat results, you can see that the Iberians have been thoroughly beaten, but they were able to do enough damage back to the Romans to where they were able to shake, and two of the supporting units had taken enough damage with, dividing them all up, and so they took enough damage. So we need to roll for these two supporting units and see what happens to them. Okay, well, you can see the results of the dice roll. The skirmishing unit broke, and the cavalry just retreated one movement. They gave ground and are disordered as well. So, really bad for the Iberians. They lost a whole division. One division, the strongest of the two divisions, I thought would hang in there a little while. I knew they were up against it, but boy, I didn't think they'd break and just be gone that quickly. But that's why we played the game and rolled the dice. So we'll have to... I've got one small skirmishing sort of thing to take care of before we go to the Iberians. It's this little... Just turn the camera just a bit. It's this little combat right there. It's open order against open order. It's just, it's not going to matter that much. So let us put the nail in the coffin on this one and move into the Iberian part of turn 4. Okay, just a little quick note. The skirmishing slingers here have beaten their Catrate opponents, which is surprising to me, but they did. And the Catrate broke and fled. It's amazing. The dice rolling is just weird. The combats are weird. All right, so now we're just going to jump on over to the Iberian turn. There's really not much here to do. We're going to do a follow me order for the Iberian general just because, just to give them a shot at getting that great big mass of infantry into the combat. And let me bring the camera up and give it a quick pivot. I'm sure I can get my pivot. There we go. We got it high enough. So as you can see, that big unit right out there. With one division gone, the other one, it should probably break here fairly soon, I would think. All it needs is the cavalry to break, or the other light infantry unit to break. And of course, open order units don't count, but they're light infantry. They can form up. So we'll give them the benefit of the doubt that they're going to hang in there. And if we don't pass this in the orders phase for this follow me order, then it's a pretty much a done deal. And we'll do a quick recap if that happens. But hopefully they'll be able to do a follow me order and get into some combat. All right, let's pause here. I'll roll the dice and we'll talk about what happens. Well, yeah, you guessed it. The Iberians failed the follow me order, even with the general's reroll, and that brings us to the end of this battle. One whole division gone. The other one's going to break the next turn. There's too many shaken units, and that one cavalry, all it takes is one of those two, and that cavalry unit is not going to last that long. So we're going to end this here. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. This has been fun for me to do. I'm really disappointed in my dice rolling for that big boar's head unit. Trust me, I really wanted to get that thing into combat, and it just never happened. Failed orders, a blunder, another failed order, and then the failed order with the reroll. So overall, very disappointing about that. I just hate that. Some point in time in the future, I'm going to try this tactic again, and maybe I can get it to work, but no promises. I think now I'm going to switch time periods and move into something else. I don't know what, though. Either English Civil War, or I might, just for fun, do one with my successor kingdom's army against these pesky Romans and see if a pike block can slow these guys down some. But other than that, it's been fun. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. Uh, if you would, please leave a comment down below, like it, do that kind of stuff. Share it if you want to. If you think you'd like to see these Romans up against my successor kingdoms, maybe even my Greeks of the hoplite variety. That would be interesting. Might do that. But I think as far as the major part going forward now, it's going to be focused on more armies of shooting. And so it will be the English Civil War. And then I will talk about what my next major project is going to be. So we'll end this video here. Everybody stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you next time.